everybody. My name is Anita Srinath. I run a company called Explore Worldwide. We are a travel agency based out of Bangalore. This company we have been rather, me and my husband, we've been running it for the past 10 years. And this video is mainly for people who, like me, want to quit a 9 to 5 job and start being an entrepreneur. I was working for LISF India, and after quitting my job after 15 years of service, I had to resign LIC, and I started this company, and thankfully it's going great. I want to share some tips and tricks, and give a rundown on entrepreneurship, especially for first generation entrepreneurs. Right, so I'll be covering the video in two parts. First will be I will be giving a short insights on how to start the business and when to start the business, and number two and most important will be the finances. Right, so number one, when to start the business and how to start the business. So I'm sure you must be having a lot of idea about your specific area of interest and your business, whatever you have in mind. You must have already decided as to I want to do this business, right? So based on market research or a specific expertise as a person, so you would have already decided which business to start. So you've already taken a decision to start a business. So the main reason is, whatever be your line of business, the main thing that you have to be aware of is, what difference are you going to make in the already existing world? Means or what pain point of the customer are you going to solve by starting a business, right? So I'm running a travel agency. It's not that before 10 years none of my customers were traveling, or not that the world was not traveling, right? The world is already running, and if you have to start a business, your business have to make some difference, some value. It has to give some value to your target customer, right? So the first thing is, have your business idea clear as to what you want to do and who is going to be your target customer, right? So you have decided what to do with your business and how you are going to start. And second one will be the finances, right? The finance is the most important part of your business, because if you have been in a 9 to 5 job, obviously your salary would get credited every month, and typically, apart from managing the amount in your bank account, you would not have faced any financial crunch. Whereas in a business, right from start and right from the time you roll out the operations, every single day you have to plan your budget. What am I going to spend today? What am I going to do today with the money? Right? So in the business also there are two parts. One is, if it's going to be a service industry like a real estate consultant or a travel agent or any middleman for that matter, it's going to be mainly your personal branding, right? XYZ. If you are XYZ and you have expertise in either real estate or a travel or a chartered accountant, so mainly the business is going to be dependent on your personal branding. So that's going to make your investment less in terms of the starting, because initially you need not have to invest big on your real estate, or your office space, or you need not have to do big business branding. Remember always, whether you're big or small, whether you're rich or poor, the main thing that makes a business successful is frugality, right? It's not that if you have 1 crore in your bank account you have to spend to start the business. Always frugality makes a lot of difference. So whenever you want to spend and start the business, start it small, and then slowly you can grow it up. So when it comes to personal branding, if you are going to have a personal branding, then initially at least for 2-3 months you need not have to invest on real estate. Start with your own office space, a small dedicated space in your home. You can always put your home address in your visiting card, or you can take a help of some friend's office whose address you can always put in your visiting card, because the overheads at the initial stage, when you have not even started building, it's going to take a heavy toll on your mental structure. So don't start with the big expenses. Number two, if you're going to start a business which requires, let's say, inventory. Let's say you want to start a retail store, to start a medical store, or you want to start even a catering business, right? Even catering business requires a lot of equipments that you need to buy. Then start with a small investment. Don't at once start with 5 stores, 6 stores. I have to buy so much. Start with one store, see how it goes, read the pulse of the customer, then you can always scale up, right? So you have already started the you have a clear idea as to what business you are going to do. And at the finances, the one more thing about finance I would like to add is, as far as possible, do it with your savings, because I am here talking only about small businesses. I'm not talking about big industries or big factories which require heavy capital expenditure. Here I'm outlining only for small businesses, typical small businesses which a person starts. So initially, it's always better to put your savings and then start the business, rather than going for big loans. Always bootstrapping the business, they call it. So bootstrapping always makes one thrifty, right? So now that your finances you have a clear idea about the finances and what line of business you are going to start. The next, third, and the most important part of any business: marketing, right? So I have started the business, I have invested XYZ. So how am I going to market? Without marketing, how am I going to have a customer, right? So without marketing, no business can take off. So marketing is a single most important factor in any business, right? My products are amazing, I have an amazing brand, I have my pricing is too good. So who will buy my product? So marketing helps your product known to the world. How are you going to market? Do you have to spend for marketing? Not exactly. Right? So if it's your personal branding, it's your expertise and your way of convincing, and most importantly, your honesty and integrity and transparency is going to be a big marketing tool for your business. Number two, if it's not your personal branding, let's say if it's a retail store, with a retail store, your service, what is going to be the value addition that you're going to give apart from your walk-in store? How are you going to face an angry customer, right? All of us face angry customers day in and day out, right? So mainly the difference which makes in your the main marketing aspect of your business, apart from how you convince your client and take a client, is going to be how you face an irate customer, how you face an angry client, right? How you are going to solve day-to-day problems with your customer. The way you solve the problem is going to be your second most marketing tool, apart from the quality of your product or service. You have to be always ready with a solution for an angry customer. Then, apart from this, there's something called online marketing. Even online marketing you can do free. You have Google AdWords, you can do SEO. All these have to be paid marketing. There are some free marketing like Facebook. You can open a Facebook page, and you can open your business in Twitter. If your business is going to be something like a product which people have to walk in and buy, let's say a shoe or dress, then obviously you have to do marketing through Instagram. So your marketing comprises of all these things which form part of your marketing tool, apart from an amazing website. That is going to be a basic thing for your business. So part number 5. So it must be running in all your minds that, okay, I have invested so much, I have started the business, my brand is great, people have started to take notice of my brand. So when am I going to start making profits, right? So all of us would have started the business to make money, right? But it's important to note that making money should not be the primary reason to start a business. As I said, the primary reason should be to make a difference through your product or service. Secondary, yes, you have to, at one point in time, you have to make profits. So, especially if you are starting from a 9 to 5 job, have at least 6 months to start making your profits. So, keep your bank balance, your 6 months of disposable income, matlab, 6 months of salary as your bank balance before you quit your job and start the business, because we have to pay bills, we have to pay for our monthly expenses. So that 6 months is a fairly reasonable time for consulting business or any personal branding business to start making profits. Whereas for capital intense businesses like retail, or where you need to keep inventory, it may be slightly higher depending on the volume and scale of your business. It may take anything from 1 to 2 years to start making profit, which we call as the break even period, right? Okay, so the next and the final part will be, okay, so we are all set to start the business. We have set our finances right, we know what to do, we know what not to do. So finally, statutory, there are some statutory registrations that you need to do to start a business, especially when it comes to Indian businesses. If you are going to be a proprietor, then it's going to be proprietorship you have to register with with your respective states. If it's a partnership, then you have to take the help of a company secretary. If it's a partnership or a private limited company, you have to take the help of a chartered accountant or a company secretary who will get it registered. If you are employing somebody, then you have to register labor, and labor license you have to take, and shop and establishments license you have to take. If you are going to start a trade, if you are going to get into a trading or a retail business, then you have to take a trade license. If you are going to start a food business, then most important, you have to take an FSSAI certificate, that is a food license, which is very important to start a business. Apart from this, there may be small registrations like the professional tax registration, then GST registration, which is very important. So all these small registrations you have to do to start a business. I would suggest, after starting the business, going around things, it's better to spend for everything in one go and start business. So make the registrations and choose a name. Name has to be something which is easy to pronounce, because you cannot keep a name which has all the 26 alphabets in English language. So have a name that is short and sweet and which is definitely relevant to your business, which maybe you scale up to 10 branches. Then after that, it's easy for you to pronounce, and it should not be an embarrassing name. So you should not go back and think that, okay, I should have kept a shorter name. So always, any business name, relevance and shortness and little catchy should be your name. So you can even trademark your business if the name and the logo, if they are going to be, you would have spent a lot of time and energy on your name and logo. So it's always better to trademark it, so that after you scale up and you become a prominent name in your particular industry. It should not be that somebody else starts a business with your same name. So it's better to protect the name and of your business, right? So the next thing is team building. When do you start building a team? Certain businesses, let's say a product, let's say trading business, right? Whether it's a retail store or a small trading shop or medical store, or labor intense businesses like catering or hotel, a restaurant. All these things, you need to have a team, because you cannot run the show alone. Unless you want to do catering yourself, you want to do the cooking yourself, and then you want to do it in a very small way in your own homes, right? So these things you have to start with labor 1, 2, 3, depending on the requirement and your initial volumes. For businesses which start with your personal expertise, let's let's say a consultancy business, a real estate agency, or you want to start a training business, you want to start a law firm, you want to start a chartered accountancy, all these chartered accountant firm, all these things mainly run on your personal expertise. So such things you can, as I said in the previous video, you can always start from the comfort of your homes, and then once it scales up to the next level, let's say you have got you start with one client, and thankfully you reach out, you reach the stage wherein you got 20 clients, and all 20 people want you to meet them and talk. Till it reaches that stage, you can always operate yourself, right? Without having any assistant or any clerk. Once it reaches a stage where your business is affected because you are doing a clerical job, you have to send out invoices, you have to only reply your mails. If it reaches that stage, then it's time to build a team.